Can you guys believe that this little guy right here is going to live to be 80 years old and grow up to be up to 110 pounds? How crazy is that? Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to be introducing you to my pet tortoise. His name is Napoleon. He is an African Sulcata tortoise, and I just wanted to make this video to just, I guess, formally introduce him. But before we get this video started, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Also, don't forget to check out our merch. If you're to scroll down on this video, you'll be able to see all of the products that we have available and browse around. If you do get something from our merch store, you are directly supporting our channel. So we'd really appreciate it if you do go ahead and check it out. For all of my dog owners out there, don't forget to check out the courses over at Fenrir. I have links for those courses in the description. They're all online and they have personally helped me tremendously in training both Dante and Peach. So don't forget to check all that stuff out. There's a lot of good things here. Okay, so without any further ado, let's jump right into this video. So since we got our ball python Kevin last year, my husband and I have been very interested in reptiles. Since we've gotten Kevin, we've added 2 more boas to our collection, and we have been just very captivated by reptiles and the reptile community in general. So one day we were visiting the pet store to get some supplies for them, and we came across this little guy. We noticed that he was in an open top enclosure, super dry, substrate, and we also noticed that he had a little bit of pyramiding on his shell. And we were honestly concerned because we were, first of all, very surprised that this type of tortoise was being sold there, since we knew that they grew up to be very large. And not only that, but we were a little bit concerned about the conditions that he was being kept in because of how his shell looked like. So we decided to ask the employee there a little bit more about him, and unfortunately the employee was very confident in giving the wrong information. So my husband and I were concerned, and we decided to get him. We had everything that he would need already at home because we have been keeping our snakes and just collecting things for them. We also had some enclosures custom made that we were ordering, so we knew we had the supplies at home, and we just wanted to give him the best life, and we were concerned about him being there, so we got Napoleon. So now I wanted to talk about his setup and just my experience with him as a pet, and just what having a Sulcata tortoise entails so far, and just, I don't know, just wanted to share my experience with you guys. So I would say that the hardest part about keeping Napoleon was the initial setup, because we were already super concerned about his shell being a little bit uneven. We wanted to make sure that we were giving him the perfect enclosure with the best conditions, because we knew that although we couldn't reverse what had happened already on his shell, we could prevent it from getting any worse. And as he would grow, we knew that it would even out a little bit. I was very paranoid when making his setup because I wanted to make sure that he had everything he needed and that everything was perfect for him to live in. So in nature, Sulcata tortoises are born during the rainy season in Africa. And I know that sounds kind of strange at first, because you would think, oh, he lives in Africa, so it's blistering hot and the enclosure would have to be like that too. It's wrong. At least when he is growing up and he's still forming his shell, it's important to mimic that environment as much as possible. And I knew that in order for him to have a nice and healthy shell, it was very important for me to have a nice environment for him in which it was going to be have the adequate temperatures and the adequate humidity levels. In his enclosure, I needed to make sure that he had a cool side and a warm side. On the warm side, the temperature there is usually 95 degrees Fahrenheit. If it's directly under the lamp, it's a little bit higher than that. And then on the cool side, the temperature there is generally 85 degrees. Now when it comes to humidity, the ambient humidity in the entire enclosure is 80 degrees, but right under his hide, it is much higher in there. Now for his setup, we also made sure that he had a UV light, which is turned off every night before we go to sleep and turned back on in the morning. The substrate that I picked for his enclosure was coco coir. I picked Coco Core because it's affordable and it's practical and it's a very good substrate for him to burrow in. It also has a very low risk for him having impaction because of it, and that is, you know, if he were to eat it, as opposed to any other kind of substrate. So that is as far as it goes regarding his setup and husbandry. Just had to make sure that the temperature was correct in his enclosure, as well as the humidity, and that he had a UV light there for him, as well as a very good substrate and hides as well. So as I mentioned before, he has a hot side in the enclosure and a cool side, so I put a hide on the hot side as well as on the cool side, just so, you know, he has options. I see that he really likes the hide on the hot side. He likes to burrow in it a lot, or he likes to bask in it a lot. So he sometimes looks like he's the king of his enclosure, because he's just like standing on top of his hide, and it looks really funny. Because I feel like it's something like a lion would do, but he's a tortoise, and it kind of looks a little bit goofy. On a daily basis, I wanted to talk about this care as well. So compared to dogs, it is very, very straightforward and minimal, I would say. So his routine goes a little bit like this in the morning. I wake up, turn on his UV light, and start to run his bath. So he soaks oh, he's pooping. Wow, Napoleon, that is a massive turd. No, don't fall off, little guy. Here. And he's gonna continue eating. So as I was saying, I made an electrolyte like solution for him to make sure at home, to make sure that he's nice and hydrated. It is a mixture of baking soda, salt, and sugar. So I'll leave the link in the description for the one that I used. I just mixed like a very big batch of it, and I'll put like a heaping tablespoon of it in his soaking water. So I'll run his bath, and I'll grab him from his enclosure. He's usually under his hide, and I kind of grab him from under there, and I put him in there to soak. And sometimes I think he's kind of cranky about going in there, but I mean, I don't know. I know it's good for him, so it's good for his shelf. While he's soaking there for 15 to 20 minutes, I go and I spot clean his enclosure, pick up any poop from the day before or any food that he didn't have, and I refill his water as well, spot clean, and every now and then I'll add some springtails in his substrate just so that they can help out cleaning anything that I may have missed. Now when it comes to food, I try to keep things varied for him. So his diet consists of a mixture of greens, like this from our garden, dandelions from outside as well, and grass from outside, as well as his tortoise food. They're like these little pellets. I'll show what they look like here. I don't remember the exact name of it, but I usually just soak those in a little bit of water, or just put them in his little dish with a little bit of water, and he enjoys that. I think that he really, really likes dandelions. He doesn't really like grass, but it's good for him, so, you know, and he loves this. Like this, if anytime I show this to him, he's like, oh, delicious. That is basically it for him. It's really all done in the morning, like the care that he needs. Unless I noticed him stomping around in his enclosure and he has no food in his bowl. That usually means that he's a little bit more hungry, so I have to give him some more of whatever we have, whether it be some more greens or dandelions or whatever. If it's nighttime, I'll probably just put in his tortoise food. Regarding our future plans, he is going to be very, very large, and he's going to outlive us. So we are going to build him an outdoor enclosure in our yard, and we are probably also going to have to tell our kids to take care of him for us, because he's going to be here long after we're gone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Personally, the whole experience of owning him has been awesome. I think it's fascinating that he is a tortoise native in Africa, and that he's here in my house with me, and that I get to replicate his environment and make it so that he has the best life possible. I think it's super interesting, and I really enjoy his company during the day because he's in my office. And I don't know, he's just an awesome pet to have. I feel very honored to own him, and I can't believe he's gonna be huge. That's crazy. Like, I honestly can't. But yeah, it's been an awesome experience to have him, and I just wanted to make a video to show you guys because he's a really special little fella, and I've been really enjoying having him. So thank you so much for watching. See you guys next week. Bye!